Hi everyone, it's Allison. Welcome back to the Tiny Herd. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I think you need to know before getting a guinea pig. So to start off, I'm going to say, first off, I am not a guinea pig expert. So I'm not the only source on guinea pigs, obviously. So these are just the things that I like to warn people about and the things that I like to kind of explain to people when they're like, oh, you have guinea pigs? I really want one. So these are just my 5 things that I feel like are most important. They're not the 5 most important things. Other people might have things that they consider more important, but these are my 5 most important things, so let's go ahead and get right into them. Alright, number 1, you need to get more than 1 guinea pig. There are rare cases where guinea pigs just don't get along. They haven't been with another guinea pig for their whole life. Not everyone has the means to try to continually find a new partner for their guinea pig and keep the guinea pigs that they try in the process. So that can be kind of tricky. So I like to tell people from the get-go, if you are going out and getting guinea pigs, you need to get at least 2. I have 4 girls together and they do great. I started out with just 2. I started out with just Belle and Callie, and went to the animal shelter, ended up bringing Luna and Lily home and bonded all 4 of them, and they've been doing great as a herd. So I definitely recommend always getting at least 2. A pair is great, and this is just because they're very social animals. They are always going to do better and feel more comfortable if they have a buddy. They're going to be happier and healthier. They're going to be able to interact with one another and socialize, and they'll get up and move around more, they'll interact, and that's just going to make them overall more healthy instead of just being a solitary pig laying around and eating. They're just not going to get as much enjoyment out of life that way. It also can help you tame your guinea pig. If they have a friend, it can kind of help calm their fears and know that they're not just prey here. They have another friend nearby who, especially if you have one guinea pig that's really outgoing and one that's a little more shy, the shy one will be able to be tamed a little bit more quickly, just in my experience. Obviously it depends on the personality of the guinea pig, but my shyest pig is Callie for sure, and Belle is definitely not a shy pig. So when I first got them, Callie was a little bit more timid about coming up and taking food from me, but when she saw that Belle was okay taking food from me, then she would come up and eat out of my hand. And now they're all pretty much about at the same level of tame. Luna's a little bit more tame than everyone else, especially after her surgery, but overall, them having other pigs to interact with just makes them more comfortable, and if they're more comfortable, then they're going to be more comfortable with interacting with you as well. Also, I keep looking down because the guinea pigs are down here. I'm facing the window, so I have the light. The guinea pig cage is literally like right here. So they're around here eating hay and I can see them, and they're kind of distracting. So if I'm just doing this, I'm watching Belle eat. So overall, getting at least 2 guinea pigs will just make your guinea pig have happier, healthier lives and help them be a more enjoyable and outgoing pet. All right, number 2. Pet store cages are not big enough. There's no pet store cage that I know of other than I think the Midwest guinea pig habitat. I think they sell that in pet stores. That's the only cage I know of that's like a commercially sold cage that is big enough for 2 guinea pigs. And like my first tip, you should be getting at least 2 in my opinion. There's not really any cage that's even close to big enough really, other than the Midwest habitat. I will insert a graphic and a link down below for Guinea Pig Cages store, I believe is the website. And they have a great graphic on minimum cage dimensions for the number of guinea pigs that you have. So I recommend a CNC cage or doing like a DIY cage. I had a CNC cage for a long time, and I started Belle and Callie out in a 2x4 CNC cage, which is the minimum size for 2 guinea pigs. So a 2x4 CNC cage is 28 inches by 56 inches, I believe. So that's the minimum size. Normally those grids are 14 inches, so it's 2 times 14 and then 4 times 14. So that's the minimum size for 2 guinea pigs, and then it goes up from there. The more space that you can give your pigs, the happier they're going to be, the more they'll interact with you, the easier they'll be to tame because they'll be more comfortable, and they'll just generally live a happier, healthy life. Again, because they'll get up and move around. They enjoy having the space. They won't have to just sit in their mess, and it will honestly also be easier for you to clean because it won't be such a concentrated mess. And it helps cut down on smell and that sort of thing. So my girls are in a combination CNC and DIY cage. My dad built the DIY part, which is 30 by 80, I believe, 30 inches by 80 inches, which is the absolute minimum for 4 guinea pigs. And then I've built on a 4x4, give or take, it's a little bit less than a 4x4 CNC area that's added on to that. So they have more than double the minimum recommended space, and they honestly, I don't know how I could have them back in just the wooden DIY part, because they are so used to having so much space now, and I was having problems with them bickering a lot more when they were in a more confined space. So if you have them in a smaller cage, you're just gonna have to spot clean more often and keep an eye out for them getting up in each other's business. And floor time, if you have them in the minimum size cage, floor time can be a good way to kind of give them a break from being so close to one another as well. So good alternatives to pet store cages, like I said, are CNC cages, which are made with the corrugated plastic and like the storage grids, the storage cubes, shelving that is the grids that you put together. Those work really well for the cage walls, and then you have the corrugated plastic for the waterproof base. I believe the Midwest guinea pig habitat you can get on Amazon, and I think you can get it in pet stores. I think that's the size for 2 guinea pigs, so that's a popular one as well. And then you can do all sorts of DIY cages. So I have I don't know if I've done a cage tour yet, I don't think I have, but you can see in my cage cleaning video that it's wood and plexiglass. So they have the plexiglass front they can see out of, and then there's, I think it's melamine or melamine, don't know how you say that, but it's got like a coating on the wood, so it's a little bit more waterproof, and then it's sealed in the cracks with aquarium sealant. So it's a good choice as well, especially if you're using fleece, because I changed my cage enough that their pee really doesn't go through onto the wood or the plastic. So those are good options. If you go on YouTube or go on Pinterest or anything like that, you can search custom guinea pig cages or DIY guinea pig cages and come up with a ton of options that people have made. So that's definitely a good place to start, and will give your pet a much better life than just keeping them in a little pet store cage where they can't run around and can't really enjoy being a guinea pig. Alright, so number 3, guinea pigs can be very expensive. So usually people are kind of surprised or confused when I tell them this if they don't have guinea pigs. But when you consider that you're buying them bedding, pellets, constant supply of hay, chew toys, vet fund, I give my girls supplements, they have treats, you're buying veggies every single week, or 2 weeks I guess, depending on how long you can get them to keep. So all those things really do add up. If I added up a year's worth of supplies for them, I think it would probably be significantly more than just having, say, a dog or a cat. I do 4 guinea pigs, so that's obviously going to be a bit more expensive than just having 2 guinea pigs, but these are things that you do need to think about before you get your pets. If you have 2 guinea pigs, there's really not going to be a need to buy a 50-pound box of hay like I do, but I have 4 guinea pigs. We go through so much hay. I'm buying a 25-pound box of hay probably every 2 to 3 months. So I just went ahead and bought a 50-pound box because we're going through it so quick, and I won't have to worry about running out so quickly, and it just was more economical to buy it in bulk. So you can save money some ways by buying in bulk and that sort of thing. But you do need to make sure that you're spending the money on the veggies that they need. I buy veggies every single week. They get peppers and cucumber and lettuce, and other things as well. But Treats obviously are optional. You can use fresh fruit and veggies, that's great. Chew toys, they do need some chew toys. They need to be chewing constantly. Hay is pretty much the best thing for them to be constantly chewing, but my girls really like Willow, for example, and they'll destroy that. Giving them chew toys just gives them more engagement and gives them kind of a boredom breaker, so that's also a good thing to take into consideration. I also buy filters for my the filter on my faucet because they get filtered water. So these are all just things that you need to think about before you get a guinea pig. It's not just going to be, oh, I'll buy bedding once a month and buy them these cheap pellets from the pet store. If you really want to have the pets, then you need to think about what's going to be best for them and spend the money on the things that they really need. And then number 4 is that guinea pigs take a lot of time, or they can take a lot of time. If you have 4 like me or more, I know many people that have more than 4 guinea pigs, they take up a good chunk of your time. I mean, I spend 10 to 15 minutes a day spot cleaning and picking up their cage, and then 5 to 10 minutes in the morning making sure they have water and giving them pellets and refilling hay racks. So it's probably maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day of time spent just caring for them. And then I also spend a lot of time in here talking to them and just kind of engaging with them and enjoying them as well. Once a week, or kind of as needed, usually it's once a week for me because my cage is so large. They get a full cage clean, and that can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And then on top of that, they require grooming and nail clipping and health checks, and those are all things that take time during the week as well. So health checks for all 4 of them probably takes about 30 to 45 minutes depending on how cooperative they're being. So that's something to take into consideration as well. And then bathing them, that is only done as needed, so that's not a thing you need to schedule into your time of taking care of your guinea pigs, really. For me, since I have a long-haired guinea pig, she needs more grooming, so she gets baths probably every couple of months just to do her butt fur. I don't do a whole full bath on her every couple months, but I just make sure that the fur around her butt and her back legs is clean, and then I give her a haircut. And then you do have to clip their nails. So these are all things that you need to think about that you're going to have to do and keep up on for your pet to have a good life. And then you also have to take into consideration vet visits. Are you going to be able to take time off work if you need to take your guinea pig to the vet? When Luna had her surgery, there were 3 or 4 days where I was out of work for 4 to 5 hours to take her there, or to make the trip to the vet and back, or to take care of her after that. I needed to do whatever needed to be done for her at the time for her surgery, but I had to leave work to do that. And luckily my work is very understanding of those things. As long as I make up my work, then it's no big deal, but that's just something you need to think about as well. They're not just something that, oh, they're sick, I'll leave them here. If you're going to have them as a pet, then you really should try to do what's best for them, and sometimes that means you're gonna have to miss things that you want to do to take care of them, or you're gonna have to miss work to take them to the vet. So that's something to keep in mind as well before you get guinea pigs. And then number 5, this is not as big of an issue, but it's something that a lot of people are surprised when I mention that it needs done. But guinea pigs need regular grooming and health checks. I health check my guinea pigs every week, which includes checking their hair, checking their fur, checking their skin, checking their ears, nose, eyes, their bum, making sure that they don't need their nails cut, and then they need weighed, and then keep track of their weights so that you know if they're losing weight, because that's going to be the first sign of illness. That's how I figured out that Luna had something going on. She had hair loss and she was losing weight. So that's one of the first good signs that something is wrong. So health checking every week is really something that you need to be doing. So that kind of goes into the time factor as well. And then they need regular grooming. And a lot of times I say this and people are like, what? How do you groom a guinea pig? Well, I have a long-haired guinea pig. She needs brushed more often. I have to give her bum baths to make sure that her fur is not gross and matted on her butt. She needs haircuts to make sure, again, that it's not gross and matted. They all need their nails cut on a regular basis. I brush their fur when I get them out as well for these things, just because it's good to get the dead skin and dead hair off of them. You really only need to give them baths as needed. So if they're really dirty, if they're smelly, they have some poop all over them, something like that, is when you would give a bath. I give baths maybe twice a year at the most. I do bum baths in between that more for like Lily and Callie, since they have a little bit longer hair. But Belle and Luna pretty much just get a bath once a year. And Luna is really just because she lays in poop and gets it all over her feet after a while. And then Belle, if I don't give her a bath when I give everyone else a bath, then they smell funny and she doesn't like that, and then it causes a whole dominance issue. So I only give her a bath when I'm giving everyone a bath at one time, and that's pretty much once a year for her, and that's it. Unless sometimes she lays in her pee a little bit, and she's like laying here hardcore staring at me, guys. Like, I know you're talking about me, Mom. But sometimes she lays in her pee and then it gets on her butt and it gets all like gooey and it's gross. So sometimes she does get a bum bath as well, but she pretty much just gets one bath a year and that's it. So you just have to keep in mind that you're gonna have to do things like bathing them and clipping their nails, and some people get nervous or uncomfortable with having to clip nails and that sort of thing. So you can take them to the vet to have that done, but then you're gonna have to pay for it. So that's really your preference on what you're gonna do. But these are all things that you do need to keep in mind before you get guinea pigs. You're gonna have to groom them. You're gonna have to clean their cage. They're gonna need to go to the vet sometime. So those are all things that I just want to make people aware of, that I kind of find that people are kind of surprised about when I tell them about taking care of guinea pigs. So those are my 5 things. Just to recap, you need to get at least 2. Pet store cages are not big enough. They can be very expensive, they take a decent amount of time, and they need regular grooming and health checks. So there are my top 5 things I like to tell people about getting guinea pigs when they're like, oh, you have guinea pigs? I'd really like to get one. Start with number 1. You need to get at least 2 and go from there. Make sure people know what they're getting into. But those are just the things that I think are really important and that I like to spread and make known about having guinea pigs as pets. So let me know down below what you guys like to tell people, or what you think the top 5 things are that people need to know before getting guinea pigs. I always say people need to do their research, so this is a good place to start. You know these things and then you're like, oh, I didn't know I needed to do these. What else do I need to know that I need to do? So that's really where I like to start with these things. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments. I will try to link anything that I mentioned in a website or sources, that sort of thing, down below. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you can find us at The Tiny Herd, though I'll be honest, I haven't been posting a ton on there lately because I was sick last week, but I'm working on it. I'm working on getting up a bonus video or a vlog this week as well, but like I said, I was sick and I didn't have really much going on, so I didn't get that up the last 2 weeks. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. I put out new videos every Friday, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.